Well, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here on the Costa del Coast, looking down over the mountains and to the sea. Unfortunately, I have a huge monstrosity of a concrete building next to me, and they're working on that all day. So there's going to be noise on this live. There's not much I can do, but it's nice to be able to do a live in the morning. And I could easily go inside, but I need my fresh air. I need the sun on my skin. I need to rejuvenate the body, the cells. I need to breathe in Mother Earth. Stale air is not healthy for you. That's why it's important to have a fan. Air conditioning not so good, but a fan, the ions and anions, which is so necessary for our health and well-being. So out here is a beautiful place, and I don't know if you can see. That's my view. So I'm wishing you all a lovely day wherever you are in the world. I'm hoping you all have a magical day after watching this video, and hopefully it'll give you an insight into the topic of conversation today, which I haven't really talked about in a while, because there's so many other things that people believe are far more important. And when I do actually put out videos, I find that not many people are that interested, to be honest. Most people are more interested in shock, I don't know, bread and circuses. I guess we're all just hooked on, the latest brand, or, Curon, or who's this and who's done that, and what Fauci's done and what the government's doing. I guess it's almost like we're just so addicted to the heroin porn fear that, something light-hearted, something to do with crystals is like, oh my God, really? What's that gonna do? How's that gonna help? I remember meditating, and there was a few things that came to light when I was meditating by a tree, and that was, if people understood what's going on around them, the world would change. And the thing is that most people are frustrated in this world because most people don't see what's going on. And it's like we want to shake everybody. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, right? So when I did the meditation, because I was frustrated at that time, because there was a lot of children, a lot of babies coming into my practice with their mums and dads, and the babies were, I had a lot of babies coming in for healing sessions out of love, right? So the babies were healthy. Mums and dads refused any kind of injection into the baby, and they'd come in and say, how's my baby? Does the baby feel healthy? And I'd say, wow, brilliant energy, fantastic. Then there'd be people who come into me absolutely terrified, in fear and shaking. I remember one particular mum who came in with her grandmother, with her mum. So there was a little baby girl, only born, I don't know, a few weeks, and then the mother, and then her mother. So they came upstairs, and I never forget this, and it's a scream that's always stayed with me. It's a scream that is beyond a baby's scream. It goes beyond the scream. And it when it enters into you, you can feel the fear of it. So it's kind of like, the way I would say it is, if somebody was just about to be killed, right, and they know they're just about to be killed, and they scream out of that fear, imagine a baby doing the same thing. And of course, it's the poison that was gone into that baby. Now, mums, dads believed that what they were doing was the right thing, right? So you can't blame anybody. We've all had these injections because our mums and dads were brainwashed into believing this bullshit. So I remember this one particular beautiful baby girl screaming, and I can only tell you that it sent fear through my body. I could feel the scream of fear. It was if you were to take that scream and record it and find a way to get that frequency, that's probably the frequency that MK Ultra, DARPA, HARP, military industrial complex work on sound targeting of hurting people. That's probably that's probably where they get it from. So if you're a sick psychopath, that's what you do. But yeah, so I remember being calm, letting that go, and placing my hand on the baby's chest and giving a healing session for about an hour. And the baby calmed down, and the tears, everybody was crying, and everything was fine. The baby calmed down. So they couldn't stop this scream, but then the baby stopped. And to this day, I know the baby's grown up now, beautiful little girl. She's healthy and got through that pain through the beautiful energy of the body. The body is incredible. Never forget that. The body heals. The body will fight. The body will, clear. The body will do all it can. Not all the time, but it does its best from the hijacking and the poisoning of this dark world that we live in, that tries to poison and steal our light and love. And it does its best to hijack us so that we are never completely the spiritual beings that we're meant to be from the day we're born. So going back to this understanding back then, that I could clearly see that a lot of children were having these injections and then changing suddenly, and it could be a subtle change, or it could be a huge bloody change. And then they started naming it, and that's what they do. They put you in a label, in a box, so that everything's okay then, because then you don't need to look at why anything's that's the classic psyop of government agencies that mask and charade themselves as medical professionals. So they'll charade, they'll manipulate, they'll sleight of hand and say, oh yeah, this is autism. Yeah, what's autism, mate? It's just a bullshit word that you're using. It isn't autism. And where does it come from, and how does it work? And this has never happened before. And most people who are sick and ill, and most places where illness and sickness, no matter how you look at it, forget the word, viral, virus, and all of these things. Forget all of that. It's all bullshit. It's all there to confuse people. But why are people becoming sick? Why is it that so many people become sick and so many soldiers become sick? Why is that? Wherever you look, it's always at barracks. It's or it might be on like a boat or somewhere, and it's like this is like, it's crazy stuff. But as a healer, we can recognize certain things, and we try and put it out there, and we're mocked and ridiculed because we haven't got certificates and we haven't studied in the medical mainstream brainwashing industry. So we're poo-pooed and laughed and mocked all the time. But yeah, it's interesting. I know I've gone off topic, but I find it fascinating to see that nothing really changes every single year. They keep doing the same thing to us, but just changing the boxes, the labels all the time. But it's the same thing that happens over and over again. But the interesting thing is about all of this, the really interesting thing is that when you awaken to all of this, that is the point where your life changes. And this awakening awareness that you didn't have because you were eating, drinking, sleeping, working, enslavement, paying the mortgage, worrying about your family, all the things that kept you occupied, which that's a deliberate thing. All of a sudden now you might have a bit of time on your hands to look at life and say, what the hell am I doing here? What's this all about? And all of a sudden you start to become aware of so many things. Now, what I did right 2 decades ago is I screamed and shouted at the top of the mountain saying, why isn't everybody else seeing what I'm seeing? And you get over that. But then when I was sat down and meditated and asked that question, there was, in my understanding, is there was a reason. This is what I got. There was a reason why Mark Bajerski received a crystal in his pocket, and there was a reason why he saw that crystal when it was on top of his clients, because he just put it there for some reason. And after he'd finished putting this crystal on top of his clients for some reason, because he felt it was a good idea, and then he was working on the energetic frequency of whatever was being pulled from the universe to help heal that client and bring them back to a balance. And he did this maybe, I don't know, a week for something like that. And a lot of the clients were, very, very exhausted that I was working on at that time. Funnily enough, the same clients, same people came with the same issues. And that was, huge headaches, feeling exhausted, lack of sleep, terrible nightmares, sometimes night terrors, people coming who were feeling so bad because they were tormented, bullied by their family, bullied by their friends, children coming who had been bullied at school, kids coming because they were not being able to sleep at night, and they were jumping out of bed screaming. So I realized that over those 2 weeks I had many clients coming for the same kind of those reasons. And every time I'd take this silly little crystal out of my pocket and put it onto clients next to their head, and then do the full hour healing session. And then I went for a coffee with somebody, and for some reason I took this crystal out of my pocket and put it down on the table where my coffee was. And this lady who came with her daughter grabbed this crystal. She was only a little girl. She grabbed the crystal and she never let go of it. A couple of weeks later, this lady contacted me and said, you're never going to believe this, but my little girl has no more night terrors. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know she had any. Yeah, I never told you. She all the night terrors have gone, and bullying at school's gone, and she sleeps through the night. And I'm like, oh, okay, wondering why she's telling me this. And she said, the only reason I can see why this has happened is because she grabbed that crystal off you and she's never let it go since. She sleeps with it. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. She says, Mark, that crystal did something. So I had no idea of the power of crystals. And now my mind's thinking, and I'm a little bit of a, like, if you try and tell me something, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm very much like that. I am not a guy who just believes anything. I'm the opposite. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just have a look at this properly, shall we? What as any of her friends at school made up with her? As she said, oh, they've made up with me, or have you fed her anything differently? Have you been playing music at night? Have you changed the energy in the house? And she said, I swear to you, Mark, since the day, which is, I think it was a couple of weeks, it might have been a little bit longer, but I can't remember, it was so long ago. But she said, I have done nothing, we have done nothing different. The only thing that's changed is when she grabbed that crystal off you. And since that moment, that night, she slept through the night. And I went, okay. So I put the phone down, I went for a walk, and I meditated on it. And as I'm meditating, meaning that I'm thinking about this deeply, and it was like 1,000 pieces of jigsaws coming together to show me the whole. And then I realized there is something about crystals. There's something extremely, extremely interesting, and it's something that I need to start looking at. And that was the beginning of my crystal understanding. And since then, I've been mocked and ridiculed. Some people get it, some people just laugh and wear the crystal. And over time, some people will put the crystal on and never take it off. And some men, grown men, doctors, scientists, never take them off, who have come for readings and healings with me and swear blind by them. some men who are businessmen just like kind of laugh and do it because they love their wife, and they wear it for their wife, and then 3 months later they'll come back and see me for a session, and they'll take it out and they'll say, I never take it off. And I'll say, can I ask you why you never take it off? Is it because of your wife, and is it because you've got so used to it? And a lot of the times what they used to say was, it feels different, it feels bare, I feel bare without it. And I said, have you ever wore any necklaces before that, like gold or anything, like any jewelry before? Yeah, I've worn lots of different things, but this is different. It feels like I'm bare without it. Well, that's their interpretation of it. My interpretation means that your body's saying, I need that back on again, and it's good for you. So I know I've gone right off on one, but sometimes it's nice to hear the storyline of crystals. So the big question today is, which has been asked of me 3 times this week, is there any the word correlation between a crystal that is dug in, say, India, and the power of that crystal, due to the fact that the people who live above it will have some influence on the crystal, whether that's positive or negative. So first of all, crystals do not hold negative energy in any way, shape and form, in my understanding. They can heal negativity. Some crystals, which I believe are not of this world, i.e. the tektite, have the ability to absorb the crystal and dispel negative energy, which I find fascinating. Other crystals tend to have a frequency of their own specifically. So I'll give you a great example. You've been born in, say, Italy, or you've been born in, say, the UK. When you're born in a certain place in the world, Mother Nature, the universe, understands this. So when you're brought up in real nature, you eat everything that Mother Earth gives you. So whatever she gives you is going to be good for you where you are. So she'll give to you certain foods through the year, depending on the change of the seasons. So certain seasons you'll be eating certain foods, and those foods will be, say, for winter, there'll be more foods that store, let's say, fat in the body. And then summer, it will be more of the lighter, the lighter things that are good to heal your body, because it's, you've got the sun and so on. So Mother Earth knows when to grow what she needs for you. So if she knows what to grow for you in Mother Earth when you plant her seeds, she certainly knows that the earth is healing and extremely powerful. She knows that when you put your feet on Mother Earth, that she has an energy that is going to heal you, because Mother Earth is your mother. She's your greatest mother. Your mother is your mother for sure, but Mother Earth is the greatest mother of healing. So that's why when you put your feet on your bare feet on Mother Earth, there's no red light, or there's no I don't know, these new mats that you sit on that change of frequency. There's none of them can compare to Mother Nature, none of them, and everybody will tell you that. Some of them are great and they're good for you if you live in apartments and you live in buildings and you're not got any sun on your skin. Then all of these things are certainly helpful, but there's nothing that can ever compare to Mother Earth and what she holds. So Mother Earth holds water, of course she does. Without the water, nothing grows, and that comes from the sky, but she also holds it in the earth as well. So she also, with that water, she creates and she brings life of fruit and vegetables, herbs, seeds, nuts, roots, but she also brings life to crystals. So crystals are born out of Mother Earth and her amazingness to create something in an environment that is so perfect that these little stones of miracles that are not water, are not stone, but they vibrate somewhere in between. There is something very special about crystal, something very special about it, especially when she's in Mother Earth, not in laboratories, in Mother Earth. Okay, forget the laboratory ones, just throw them away, forget them. Anything man-made, throw it away. But Mother Earth, and when these things, these beautiful, I call them living beings, are created, these frequencies, these energies that lie around them and within them, for me, it's just like watching a rock vibrate or a tree vibrate. It's all energy. They all have their own unique energy. Same as a crystal. You can put a crystal down and look at it for long enough and you can start to see the frequency vibrate. You can take that crystal and put it onto a client who's sick and put it on them, and you can see the frequency of the client's energy, which is really negative and all over the place, start to calm down and change to the vibration of the crystal. Fascinating. Fascinating. You can stick a crystal, just say a clear quartz, on a client who's lying down, who's got monkey mind because they're frightened of their husband leaving them because there's a younger model, or their child is going through an operation, and they're lying down there and they're twitching and moving, and their energy around their head is like erratic. It's crazy. You stick a clear quartz on them or something to calm them down, like a cavensite, or a nice big piece of tektite, just stick it on there and just watch their energy shift, change, vibrate to the frequency of that what the crystal is giving. The crystal is giving, it's admitting an energy that is changing the energy that the mind of fear is creating. So people have asked me over the years, is there such thing as a place where there is so much trauma in the world, i.e. Africa, where there's so much famine and anger and people killing each other over diamonds and land? And is there a possibility that the crystals that are dug from there have that negative energy? And all I can say is that the places where the most painful situations have happened above, the places where the wars are and all that, the places where the famine are, I found that the crystal below have such powerful energy that I've noticed that certain places in the world, the crystal vibrates at the healing frequency of what the above needed to heal. So what I realized is Mother Earth, without doing anything, already creates that what is needed from above to bring balance. So from below brings the balance above. So when you take a crystal out of Pune, India, in that area, there has over time been a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment, a lot of those that live there have felt very negative in so many ways about the world around them. And there is a lot of there was in time, I've heard this from many of my friends who told me what happened there and around, not just Pune, but around all of there, what kind of things that happened. And I realized that when I worked with this crystal called cavensite, when I laid it on the clients, I found that I picked this crystal up purposely for people who struggled with a lot of issues. And those issues eventually, when you start to recognize that, why am I picking this crystal out and helping people for this reason? The reason that I found that cavensite helped people was it ended up being like, wow, I keep using this crystal on people who are going through the same trauma. And what was that trauma? A lack of forgiveness. There was bitterness, there was anger, of so many different reasons. But the energy that they were holding is that they could not forgive. And I found that every time out of 100 of my crystals or 200 of my crystals in the room, every time that I'd work on a client and simply pick the Cavensite up and placed it on their forehead or in their hand, that when I'd finished the healing session, there would be a mention of, I can forgive. I don't know what you've done, but I've realized I have to forgive. And I used to write this down, and I could see the pattern clearly, that Cavensite was the crystal of forgiveness. Therefore, in Pune, that same energy of the people above in a tribe or in an area, like in any area, you take any place in the world, there's this connection between humanity that it's kind of profound. So people have the same kind of mentality where they live. So it makes sense that underground is going to pick up on that energy, and it's going to have the healing property to help them with that energy. So I found that crystals can relate to where they come from to how they can help heal people. So I, with all my heart, believe out of the 20 years that I've worked with crystals on thousands of clients, that there is definitely something to be spoken about, and there is definitely a pattern of where the crystal is dug to how it can heal people. And that is my truth. Believe it not, it doesn't matter. That's my truth. And I saw it within 7 years. I saw this pattern clearly. And to finalize today, if everybody wore a crystal, if everybody went to a crystal shop, right, and never said a bloody word, went to a crystal shop and looked around all these crystals, whether they looked through their eyes and saw something beautiful, whether they felt it in their hand and closed their eyes and felt the crystal and said, oh, this is the crystal that I want, not knowing why, not asking why, not asking the people who own the crystal shop anything, but just feeling the pull, just like you would go to a museum, and you walk around a museum and it's a painting museum. You'll walk around and none of the pictures will mean anything until one will just blow you away. It could be the colours, it could be depicting something, it could be a memory of something, it doesn't matter, but that picture is the one that I like, okay? It's the same way as you would pick a crystal. Don't look for it, don't try and find it, just walk around the crystal shop. Doesn't matter if it's ugly, if it's beautiful, I just want that crystal. This is how I worked. So I'd have 100, 200, 300, 400 crystals in my healing room. And I'd start work on my client, they'd lie down and I'd start the healing work, and I'd just turn and a crystal would call. And I would just pick it straight up and lay it on the client. And afterwards, when we were finished after the hour, they'd go away and they'd maybe contact me or say, would you like to come for a coffee, and explain how they healed that day and what happened to them that day. These were all logged up here and in my heart. And that logging made me realize that crystals play a valuable role in our healing process and also our awakening, because a healing process is an awakening. Because if you don't heal from something, right, you don't awaken from something. If you don't awaken from something, you don't heal something. So the crystal has an ability to awaken and heal you. So that's why I got this message on top of the mountain up here 20 years ago that said, if every single soul in this world wore a crystal that they chose from their heart without question, and they wore that crystal, the world would change in a day to love and healing, and darkness would dispel. So that's my message today. I love you all, and I guess that's the reason why I work with crystals every day, and I've got over 4,000 crystals in there that I'm working on. And even with a broken ankle, the healing process of my 3 tektites on there, and my other crystals that I work on with for bones, and my oils and incense. It's like this is my life. I could have done so many other things in my life, but the magic of these 20 years of watching clients heal and grow and smile and feel better, I think within us all, every one of us, I don't care what you do and what you don't do, within us all, there is the consciousness that above everything in this world, when we have made a difference, when we have contributed towards somebody's well-being, somebody's happiness, when we have made somebody see something that they haven't seen before and awaken somebody to the nightmare that is the illusion out there, and that they can change their illusion at any given moment to a better life and a healthier and happier life, I think that's part of the journey of why we're here and what our purpose is, at least one of them anyway. So I could think of a lot worse things in life to do than to work on crystals and sell them and to give them away and to work on oils and incense. I can think of a lot of worse things. So I'm happy that what I'm doing right now is that. And I am wishing you all a lovely day. Thank you so much for always supporting and always being here, even though I'm being shadow banned like crazy now. I had a huge attack the other day. I took down the video because I just can't be arsed with it anymore. I'm not interested in the bread and circuses. I don't care whether Brandy's right or wrong. I don't give a shit. I honestly don't care. It's not important. What's important is what I've just spoke about, and that is to help people waken up. Whether you believe something or not, it doesn't matter. It's your choice. It's your path. And the most important thing is, above all of that bread and circuses, is why we're here and what we're here to do. And if whoever does whatever they do, that's their journey. And I realize just getting brought back into all of that is being part of the matrix. So just let it go, rise above it, let everybody deal with their doorstep, let everybody clean their own doorstep. That's their path. That's what they've created. They have to deal with it. What about you? If I'm brought into that, then I am no longer living my true purpose, because now I'm just distracted by the bread and circuses, and all of that is deliberate. It's all deliberate. It has to be. So let it go. Love everybody. Send as much love as you can. Let them be, but fully focus on your journey. And that's where I realized, I keep getting pulled back into it. Why people try to pull me back into all of the matrix, why they think they're actually making a difference. They're actually pulling people back into the matrix. What are you doing today to make a difference in the world? Me, I'm working on probably 130 tektites that I love, and then I'm going to be sending them out there. I'm going to be working on some amazing pieces of crystals. I'm working on another batch of Don Tolman's Golden Relief. I'm working on some Awakening Oil. I'm already working on some incense sticks. I've got so many things from Peru that I have to work on, and that's my work. I send out messages of love. I make videos of things that might make you think a little bit, and you might walk out of the door today and look for a crystal shop. I always encourage people to go to a crystal shop, hands-on, feel the crystal, and just put it in your pocket, or if it's a pendant, wear it. Don't need to do anything more than that, and let the crystal do its job. And it's surprising. So many times I put a crystal on somebody as a gift, and they've walked out, and then 6 months later they come back and they've changed, and they've still got the crystal on. So your energy's changed, you've changed, and sometimes they don't even realize they've changed until you point it out to them. And that's because it's so close, you don't see it. You just don't see it. Oh man, have I changed? Really? Yeah, you have. I can see it a mile off. I can see around you. I can feel it within you. You've changed. What's changed? I don't know. Could it be the crystal? You know what? I never take it off. And this is what I've seen over the years. So, but people, to be honest, this video won't do much because it's about crystals. Oh, crystals. What's crystals gonna do? What does the crystals? Bloody crystals. Yeah, you'll be surprised, pal, how it can change your complete life. It could totally turn it around. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my little coffee morning chat this morning. Have a lovely day. You always make me smile. Thanks, guys. Hi, Peter. Miracles happen every day. What's your favourite crystal anyway? Do you have one? I tell you what, I can't go and walk over there. I'd have to use my crutches, but... Oh, maybe I could do it here. Maybe. Hang on. Oh my God, I can do. Isn't that amazing? My window opens there. They just arrived from Bali. I was going to do a video, but I was a bit tired yesterday after physio. Oh my God. Look. You're not going to be able to see it properly, but... So what you're looking at here is Moldavite and Herkimer diamond. That's a big piece of Moldavite. But I also made some smaller ones. So on my website, these are one of my favorite crystals. They're called Mold Herks. So Moldavite and Herkimer diamond. Herkimer diamond from the Ace of Mines in New York, the only place you can actually get them. Don't bother getting Herkimer diamonds from India. They're a different energy. They're lovely, but different. So I made some smaller ones too. Absolutely, I know you can't see it, but they're absolutely beautiful. The colours are gorgeous. The Moldavites are from Maliklum. They're absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful. So, 60 pieces. I've been waiting for them for like 3 months now. So they've arrived, and like I want to put them on the website, but I also want to work with them. But yeah, these feel great actually. They feel great. I want to, it's only been these past few days that my body is starting to feel like my leg feels okay now, whereas the past 3 weeks my body's been healing my leg, so all the energy has been running down to my ankle to heal my foot. So you can imagine the draining of the body to heal that part. So right now my foot feels fine. So these past, like, say 4 days I've been okay. So that means that when you're okay, then you can work with a crystal. If you're not okay, then the crystal works for you. So I've been working with, when I say working with crystals, crystals have been working for me. That's how crystals work. When you are feeling amazing, you put the energy into the crystal that is added memory of love, healing, power, whatever it is, in a positive way. You put it into the crystal. When you're not feeling well, the crystal gives you back that very energy, but it doesn't give you back that it's no longer in the crystal. It's a memory and stays in there as a frequency. So that memory never ever goes, and you can always call that memory back from the crystal to heal you. So this is one of the things that I always say. Every time you're feeling happy or great, grab the crystal in your hand and just hold it. I mean, you don't really need to do that, because if you're happy, there's more energy of happiness goes into you. If you feel bad, then the crystal will give you the energy to feel better. It almost knows you. It's a living being. It's an energy. For me, it's like a spirit, like a flower. It just gives that life and love. So if I have time today, because I'm working on a few projects right now, and one is The Ancient Art of Flower Reading. So we're nearly finished. I've just got 3 more flowers I have to channel. A crocus. I can't remember the other. Can't remember the other 3. But anyway, so I decided there's going to be 50 flowers, which are the main flowers that that you can buy, and you can, if you type online flowers, 50 famous flowers. I've done the 50 famous flowers, and then maybe I'll do another book in the future, as a number 2. But this book is basically from start to finish. It's going to teach you how you can read flowers for yourself and for other people. So if somebody brings you a flower over, you can read that flower as a psychic reading to the client. So it's like, it'll blow them away. Like, how did you know that's me in that flower? So I think it's a new thing that nobody's really ever done. It's an ancient art that, to my knowledge, I don't think anybody's done a book this way ever. So I think it's going to be a very popular one. It's so easy to understand. It's so easy to be able to read the flower, and also it's really beautiful to be able to say, if you choose a flower, or if somebody's chosen a flower and you don't want to do a flower reading, you can just go to that page and read the channeled message for you or a friend that day. So I think it's going to be a lovely book. So yeah, I've got a lot going on. So yeah, you're still here. So I hope I haven't bored you. All right. So yeah, I'm going to try and get a few of these on at some point. Yeah. Have a lovely day, guys. I don't know what you're doing, but have a great day. Bye. Take care. Oh, do you want to have a look at... I'll leave you with that for a few seconds. That's my view. Not bad, eh? Take care, guys. Love you all. Speak to you soon.